Get your hands off me. I'm not going anywhere.
Really now? How many times must I tell you?
Tanya!
Each time you resist, your lover will suffer the consequences. Is that clear?
Vulcan. Damn you!
Hold it right there, traitor. Let's find out just how lucky you are. Watch closely. One of these 3 guns has a single bullet in it. I'm going to pull the trigger 6 times in a row. Are you ready? Looks like your luck hasn't run out yet.
There's no such thing as luck on the battlefield. You'd better stay in line from now on. The Cobras will take care of him.
Has the CIA dog been disposed of yet?
The pain is dead.
What? He may be a child, but he's definitely one of yours. I fear Khrushchev may have a hand in this. We have no time to lose. You must eliminate him before the final test.
Don't worry. They'll be able to handle it. I'm leaving him to you, the field.
The old man is always sleeping. Is he all right?
The end is saving what life he has left in him for battle. Normally, he's dead. But he'll wake up when the time is right. And when he does, it will be the end for the boy.
Yeah. Sokolov isn't worth your love. You can entertain me until the rain stops. Kuwabara, Kuwabara.
The sorrow, is that you?
Major, Sokolov's been hauled off.
Yes, they probably caught him trying to escape from the lab. Didn't Volgin say that they still needed to perform the final test?
Yeah.
Then Sokolov must have been taken back to the lab. Get to the lab and get Sokolov the hell out of there. Pass through that warehouse and you'll come out south of the lab. Make your way inside the warehouse. Watch out for enemy sentries. The assault rifle can punch through materials like wooden boards. That means you can fire on enemies standing on top of the pier from underneath. Keep that in mind.
Major, do you know anything about this, Tanya?
No,
Nothing?
not a thing.
Why not? You must have checked up on Sokolov when he defected 2 years ago. If he had a lover...
Make no mistake, we conducted a thorough investigation, but there was nothing about him having a mistress.
Maybe you didn't notice.
That's impossible.
Then he must have become involved with her after he was taken back to Russia.
I wonder.
What is it, Major? Something wrong?
I don't think Sokolov would take a lover.
Why not?
I still remember him 2 years ago. After we got him across the border, the first words he spoke from his hospital bed, after he regained consciousness, were, "Are my wife and daughter safe?" And right up until the time he was taken back to Russia, he kept begging me over and over to take care of his family, almost as if he was delirious. Sokolov is a man who loves his family. Betraying his wife is something he'd...
Major,
What is it?
people change.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, maybe.
It's possible to destroy the radio that enemy correspondents use. Snake, the Mark 22 is a tranquilizer gun. Snake, if you find an item box, use first-person view to take a good look and find out what's inside. Snake, the damage that an enemy takes from your gun depends on where you hit him.
To take a rest, all you have to do is save and exit the game. You can capture animals alive by using the tranquilizer gun or a mousetrap. Snake, be careful. That area is supposed to be inhabited by cobalt blue tarantulas. The cobalt blue tarantula is a poisonous spider with a highly potent venom. If you get bitten, go into the survival viewer immediately and use Cure to administer a serum injection. You'll catch a cold if you hang around too long without any clothes on, or spend too much time in the water or the swamp. Snake, that area is home to the big-eye trevally. Snake, it says here you can catch maroon sharks in that area.
Squares is a mountain camo that's basically a bunch of square patterns. Squares is a mountain... When you're using the...
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Snake, have you ever seen the guns of Navarone?
Never.
It's about a mission to blow up the huge guns on the island of Navarone during World War II. 6 men are chosen to participate in the operation, each with his own special ability. They only have until an English destroyer passes by the island to complete their mission. Facing impossible odds, the 6 men have to sneak onto the island from a cliff on the southern shore.
That doesn't sound like something I'd want to watch in my free time.
Maybe not for you, but the Major was absolutely crazy about it.
The Major?
He told me to tell you how great it was.
Tell him I'll go see it as soon as I get back to the States.
Do you want to tell him yourself?
No, let's save that for later. I'd better get back to the mission.
Yeah.
Patrol here. We're being attacked.
Snake, did you kill another one of the Cobras?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was the end. Good work. Now you won't have to deal with him later.
I guess so.
What's wrong?
It's nothing.
Surely you're not going to tell me you wanted to test your skills against a legendary sniper that even the boss respected?
No.
Snake, this isn't a contest or sport. This is war. The only thing you should be thinking about is carrying out your mission.
Yeah, I know.
Pass through that warehouse and you'll come out south of the lab. Make your way inside the warehouse. Watch out for enemy sentries. Snake, be careful. The way to change between standing, crouching, and crawling has changed slightly from the methods learned in training. Equip food as a weapon and press the weapon button to throw the food. In first-person view, use the right step button to take 1 step right and the left step button to take a step left.
You can capture animals alive. Snake, eat food to recover stamina.
Raindrop was used by Germany during World War II. When you fire continuously, your field uniform.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
please respond.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. The situation is normal.
Understood. Resume your patrol.
Freeze!
What's wrong?
Huh?
What's wrong? What's wrong? HQ, respond!
This is HQ. What's going
Freeze!
on? Respond. There's something wrong. Support unit, confirm their status.
Freeze!
What's wrong?
It's rotten.
Everything looks normal. It's the enemy. HQ, respond!
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We're under enemy fire. Enemy's position is unknown. Formation.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
Major, this door.
It won't open?
No.
It's probably locked.
That's what I thought, but there's no keyhole.
I bet it's locked by a punch card security system.
Punch card?
Yep. Instead of a regular key, it uses a card with holes punched in it. You're gonna have to get yourself a card key if you want to get it open.
Snake, you need a special kind of key to open that door. Right now, your top mission priority is to rescue Sokolov. Head for the lab to the north. Snake, you need a special kind of key to open that door. Good. You've infiltrated the warehouse. Pass through it and you'll come out south of the lab where Sokolov is being held. The exit should be on the north side of the top floor. Climb up the stairs and pass through the warehouse to the north. It'll be difficult to keep a low profile inside a building, even if you're wearing camouflage. Keep a constant watch on your surroundings. Stay alert and don't enter the enemy's line of sight. You may be able to fool the enemy by disguising yourself as an object commonly found inside buildings. Snake, when you stand up against a tree or put your back against the wall near a corner, the camera lowers and gives you a view of behind. This is the corner view. When you're holding an enemy from behind, he'll be... Equip food as a weapon.
You'll catch a cold if you hang around too long without any clothes on. Looks like you're in a building. If people are living there, there's bound to be people food.
People food?
Soviet military rations. It beats eating raw snakes and mushrooms all the time, doesn't it?
I'm getting to like raw snake and mushroom.
You really are turning into an animal. You can capture animals alive. Some types of food spoil faster than others. Animal and fish meat goes bad relatively fast, but plants and mushrooms generally last a little longer. Animals won't go bad if you capture them alive, though. You can tell whether food has gone bad or not by looking closely at the icon on the food screen in the survival viewer. So be sure to check the icon before you eat the food. If you eat spoiled food, you'll get sick and end up with a stomachache. It'll get better eventually if you leave it alone, but that means you'll throw up and lose a lot of stamina. If you get a stomachache, go to Cure in the survival viewer and take some digestive medicine. Digestive medicine and antidotes aren't the only ways to cure stomach aches and food poisoning. You can also induce vomiting. Go into the survival viewer and press the viewer button to enter viewer mode. Then rotate the right stick to spin your body around, and eventually you'll start feeling queasy. When you get dizzy enough, exit the survival viewer and you'll throw up. That should get rid of any stomach ache and food poisoning you have. Give it a try. When you get shot with an arrow, your maximum life will go down depending on how bad it is, so watch out. You can let the wound heal naturally, or you can treat it using Cure in the survival viewer to make it heal right away. To treat an arrow wound, first use your knife to dig the arrow out. Then disinfect the wound and apply styptic to stop the flow of blood. Once that's all done, the arrow wound should heal right up. The gauge below your life gauge is your stamina gauge. When you get hurt, Snake, be careful when you approach the enemy.
The water pattern was used a lot by the old German Defense Force. Even though it's called the water pattern, it wasn't designed specifically to blend in underwater. They only gave it that name because the pattern resembles the waves on the surface of a pool of water. But still, it really does look like it could be confused for liquid waves. It might conceal you underwater. Keep in mind that the camel... You're on a solo sneaking mission.
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Hey Snake, have you seen 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Nope, haven't seen that one.
After a number of battleships mysteriously sink at sea, the American government investigates and finds that the culprit is this pacifistic Captain Nemo. The scene where the giant squid attacks Captain Nemo's submarine, the Nautilus, is breathtaking. The movie was filmed in CinemaScope, and it was great to see it on the big screen.
A giant squid, huh?
What? Don't tell me you think it sounds tasty.
This is horrible.
What's that you're wearing?
Night vision goggles. This gadget lets me see in the dark by amplifying light and displaying it as images.
Amplifying light?
That's what it looks like to me.
Well, I'll be damned. They're working on something like that here in the States, but so far it's not viable unless it's coupled with an infrared searchlight. And now the Russians have something you can carry with you. Anyway, those goggles should give you a decent visual range even in dark places. But don't look at anything bright like fire or it'll get burned into your eyes and you won't be able to see for a while. Be careful. In addition to AKs, some of the patrols you'll encounter might be equipped with Scorpion submachine guns and shotguns. The Scorpion is even lighter than the AK, making it much easier to handle. Basically, a guy with a Scorpion is not gonna miss you as often as with an AK. The shotgun is a powerful weapon. One blast is enough to floor you and you're likely to be seriously wounded. Watch for that, man. In addition to AKs, some of the patrols you'll encounter might be equipped with Scorpion submachine guns and shotguns. The Scorpion is even lighter than the AK, making it much easier to handle. Basically, a guy with a Scorpion is not gonna miss you as often as with an AK. The shotgun is a powerful weapon. The water pattern. When you fire, continue.
Freeze!
Please don't!
Freeze! Freeze!
Don't shoot!
HQ, please respond.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We're being attacked. Enemy position unknown. Going into high alert.
Freeze!
What's going on? Respond. There's something wrong. Support unit, confirm their status.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Snake, the lab where Sokolov is being held is to the north of that forest. Keep on heading north. Snake, watch out. It seems that forest is rigged with a number of traps. Most of the traps seem to be triggered by tripping a rope stretched across the ground. Don't just run around like a fool. Keep an eye on the ground and watch where you step. Some ropes may be placed so they're hidden in the vegetation. Be extra careful when you're cutting through the underbrush. If you use the directional buttons to move around stalking, you should be able to spot the traps before you step on them. Use stalking to move safely through suspicious-looking areas. Snake, remember that this operation is a solo sneaking mission. When you creep inside a small space, the overhead view switches to the intrusion view. Move the right stick with the corner view on to shift the camera in that direction.
You got some instant noodles, huh?
Instant noodles?
Uh-huh. It was invented in Japan just recently. Add some hot water and it's ready to eat. It's cheap and can be stored for a long time. And besides, it's delicious. It's like a miracle food.
Wow.
Speaking of which...
Yeah?
Are you going to eat that?
I was planning on it, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Is there some reason I shouldn't?
No, that's not what I meant.
Then what did you mean?
I was just going to say that if you weren't going to eat it, you should bring it back to me. I've always wanted to try some.
Whatever.
Food poisoning is caused by eating poisonous food. When you have food poisoning, your life will continuously decrease. Snake, that area is inhabited by European rabbits. The European rabbit is said to have come from the Mediterranean region originally, but nowadays they're found all over the world. They've been used since ancient times as a source of food, so it might be worth catching them. Rabbits are known to eat their own excrement.
They eat their own?
That's right. It's called cecal feces. When the rabbit eats fiber, the fiber is fermented in the rabbit's appendix, or cecum, and turned into a nutritious substance full of vitamins. The rabbit excretes this substance and then eats it again to absorb the nutrients.
That's a neat trick. I think I'll give it a try.
Snake, rabbits and humans don't work the...
I'm just kidding. You really thought I was going to eat it?
A little, yeah.
Even I wouldn't do that.
I guess not.
But how did those cecal feces taste?
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh. Snake, there should be Agaric mushrooms growing in that area. The agaric is a relative of the deathcap mushroom that grows only in that region. You'll find it growing on the ground, but it's poisonous, so if you pick one up, don't eat it. If you do eat one, go into the survival viewer immediately and use Cure to take some antidote. The poisons found in the agaric include phallotoxins and amatoxins. It says here that when you eat it, the initial symptoms include nausea, stomach pain, and diarrhea. Finally, your liver and kidneys will break down into a sponge-like substance and you die.
Sounds like a horrible way to die.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So how does it taste?
Huh?
How does it...
Were you listening to me? The agaric is poisonous.
I heard you, but if I did eat it, it might taste good, right?
I give up. Food poisoning is caused by... Snake, that area is inhabited by the green tree python. The green tree python isn't venomous, so no need to worry. It's fairly docile too, so I don't think it's likely to attack you. You'll get a stomachache if you eat something rotten. Treating serious wounds will require you to use additional medical items besides your knife and cigar.
There seem to be traps planted throughout that area, and they look a little primitive.
Yeah, but this is their territory. Why would they need this many traps here?
Maybe it's part of some kind of tactical research.
Tactical research?
Yeah. As I'm sure you know, the Soviet Union is leading a worldwide revolution among communist forces all over the globe. But a lot of the countries involved don't have the necessary funds and industrial technology, so they need tactics that are both effective and economical.
That's what they're researching?
Yeah, and traps are one of the best ways to do that. I'll bet that place is one of their testing grounds. Clappers, arrows, pendulums, all of these traps are set off by applying force to a rope. Don't touch the ropes and you'll be fine. Use rolling to get over them, or just crawl under them. Either way ought to work. If you do set off a trap and an arrow or a spiked pendulum comes flying your way, you can still dodge it by immediately diving out of the way. Pit traps and snares are camouflaged into the ground to make them harder to detect. But if you look carefully enough, you can see them through the disguise. Try stalking to proceed with extra caution. In any case, if you think there might be traps lying around, keep a close eye on the ground and stay alert. Patterned clothing, face paint, tactical movements. Covering your body is... Whenever you find a new...
Do you want to save? Snake, have you ever seen The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms?
Nope.
It's about this monster that comes to life from deep within a glacier as a result of an H-bomb test in the Arctic. It crosses the ocean and emerges in New York. I especially like the scene where the monster attacks the lighthouse, and the one where it pops out of a valley in Manhattan and makes a big hole in a building. And the last scene on the burning roller coaster was simply incredible. And because I saw it in a drive-in theater, I actually felt like I was a part of the movie. It's funny, isn't it? How you can let yourself get absorbed into these things without thinking even when you know it's not real?
Distinguishing between what's real and what's not isn't always as simple as we think.
Well, don't get too absorbed in your mission. It's important to take a rest every now and then. That area is home to the reticulated python. Snake, that area is inhabited by the poison dart frog. The poison dart frog is native to the tropical rainforests of Central and South America. They normally grow between 2 and 5 centimeters in length, but for some reason the ones in that area seem to be much bigger than that. Poison dart frogs are known to carry a potent neurotoxin called pomiliotoxin. Long ago, people used the poison to coat their arrows for hunting. Watch out, because if you eat one, you'll get food poisoning. Snake, that area is inhabited by the Japanese flying squirrel. Japanese flying squirrels are non-venomous, and they shouldn't attack you. Snake, that area is inhabited by magpies. The gauge below your... Treating serious wounds will require you to use additional medical items besides your knife and cigar.
Sokolov is inside the lab. Look for a way in and use it to infiltrate the lab. Sokolov is inside the lab. Look for a way in and use it to infiltrate the lab. Snake, the fake death and revival pills we gave you are the latest in internal medicines developed for intelligence ops by the CIA's technology division. Snake, press... Snake,
Treating serious wounds will require you to use additional medical items besides your knife and cigar. That area is home to a small bird called the red avadavat. The red avadavat is a small bird native to southern China and Southeast Asia. This is its mating season, so the males ought to be a brilliant red color right now. If you want to catch one alive, use the tranquilizer gun. By catching one and then releasing it, you might be able to distract the enemy's attention.
I see. How do they taste?
The what?
The flavor.
You're not going to eat such a cute little bird, are you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Something bothering you?
No.
Okay then, so how about it?
How should I know? That area is inhabited by the Taiwanese cobra. The Taiwanese cobra is native to Taiwan and southern China. It's quite vicious and carries a potent neurotoxin in its fangs. Be careful. If it bites you, go into the survival viewer immediately and use the cure option to inject yourself with serum. That area is inhabited by the milk snake. The milk snake closely resembles the coral snake. To eat food.
So you've got your uniform. When you're using the assault rifle, but the suppressor will deteriorate each time the gun is fired.
Do you want to save? Snake, have you seen The Magnificent Seven?
Sorry.
It's a remake of the Japanese classic The Seven Samurai, only in a Western setting. This tiny Mexican village is attacked every year by bandits. Finally, the village elder can't stand it any longer and decides to hire someone to protect the village. 7 gunmen respond to the call. They teach the villagers how to shoot and prepare for the oncoming attack. But then, the enemy shows up at the village with a huge band.
Then what happens?
You'll just have to see it for yourself. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh.
Movies are only fun when you actually watch them. There's something you have to experience for yourself.
Freeze!
Don't shoot!
Huh? I heard footsteps.
Freeze!
No, wait!
Snake, the enemy appears to be using that door to enter and exit the lab. Think you can sneak in?
I can't open the door.
That door appears to be locked from the inside. You won't be able to open it from the outside. But there must be some way to use the door to sneak inside.
And what do you propose?
Well,
How about if you stand in front of the door and perform a ritual dance?
A ritual dance.
That's what they do in Japan when they find a door that won't open.
Are you serious?
Of course.
He certainly seems to know a lot about Japan.
Yeah, but this is the Soviet Union. I don't think doing a dance is gonna make the door open.
Then you think of something.
Okay, just a second.
I see you've made it inside the outer wall. Sokolov is inside the lab. Look for a way in and use it to infiltrate the lab. Sokolov is inside the lab. Press the crawl button. If there's something... Stand...
To take a rest. To take a... Food poison. Leeches. To take a...
Pattern clothing. Keep in mind, in addition to...
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Hey, Snake, have you ever seen My Mother Was a Teenage Spider Queen from Mars?
I can't say that I have.
Neither have I.
What's wrong?
I want some more.
Snake, that's an MAZ-535, a Soviet-built 8-axle tractor truck. During World War II, most of the heavy transport trucks the Soviets used were supplied by the US. But apparently their performance wasn't quite up to the standards of the Soviet military. The problem only got worse after the war as the size of the Soviet strategical rocket forces grew larger. The Soviets realized they needed a heavy transport truck with excellent cross-country capability to haul their ballistic missiles. So in 1954, they started work on a new truck design over at the SKB MAZ Design Bureau in Minsk, Belarus. And what they came up with was the MAZ-535 you see there. There are a lot of variations on the MAZ-535. What do the headlights look like on that one?
It's got 2 of them.
Then it must be one of the later production models. The early ones were equipped with infrared lamps. They look like they're used for cargo transport. But you're not into auto theft, are you? Just leave it alone and keep going. Snake, you've got a...
I know. It's some new kind of rifle out of the West. Looks kind of like a black rifle.
No, it's not an AR-15. It's an XM-16E1, a top-of-the-line rifle that the Army adopted recently on a trial basis. The U.S. military was working on a new concept for a light infantry weapon from the late 40s through the mid-50s. In the end, they decided they wanted a .22 caliber high muzzle velocity rifle with full auto capability. What they came up with was the AR-15, the so-called black rifle. The one you've got there, the XM-16E1, is a modified AR-15 that's been fitted with a bolt forward assist. I heard they're doing performance evaluations down in Southeast Asia.
So they captured one in Vietnam and brought it here?
That's my guess. But that thing looks a lot different from a regular XM-16E1. There must have been a gunsmith present at the field test who made all these modifications on the spot. The fact that it's painted in camouflage colors shows that more and more people these days are starting to realize the importance of camouflage.
They made it so it takes a suppressor, too.
Yep, that's a nice feature to have for a recon unit on a sneaking mission deep in enemy territory. You can attach and detach the suppressor by opening the weapon window and pressing the enter button. Oh, and the firing mechanism's been modified to enable 3-shot bursts.
Why the hell would they do that?
These days, a lot of new recruits aren't used to firing in full auto mode. They have no trigger control and end up emptying the whole clip at once. Maybe they were experimenting with ways to prevent that and came up with the burst mechanism as a possible solution.
Stupid idea, if you ask me.
Hey, give it a chance. It might come in handy. Open the weapon window and press the action button to switch between semi-auto, full auto, and 3-shot burst modes. Have fun with that. Snake, that's an MAZ-535, a Soviet-built 8-axle tractor truck. Splitter was used... The water...
The enemy's here? Huh? Not so fast! Come on back to the lab!
Snake, what's wrong? Did something happen?
Yeah, it looks like they mistook me for a scientist trying to escape.
And so they took you back into the lab?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you've succeeded in infiltrating the lab. In that disguise, you should be able to move around the lab without arousing suspicion. Sokolov is somewhere inside that lab. Find out where he is and make contact with him. I see you're disguised as a scientist. It suits you rather nicely. As long as you don't do anything suspicious, like roll or crawl, the enemy should have no reason to suspect you. Sokolov is somewhere inside that lab. Find out where he is and make contact with him. If you want to know where Sokolov is, why don't you ask one of the people around there? Snake, your disguise seems to be working. But don't forget that you're trying to pass as a scientist. Don't do anything that a scientist wouldn't do, like roll or crawl. And certainly don't go around punching people. If an enemy starts to suspect something, don't run away. Stay where you are and remain still. That should get you out of most situations. Snake, be careful of those scientists as well. If they get a good look at your face, they'll know that you're not one of the scientists assigned to the lab. Take care to keep your face hidden from the scientists. Even if they figure out who you are, the scientists won't attack you, but you'll be in for it if they cry out or press one of the alarm switches on the walls. If a scientist starts to suspect something, turn your face away until the suspicion passes. If you get a chance, try interrogating a scientist. He might have some valuable information for you. Remove your disguise temporarily and use CQC to grab a scientist. Then press the left stick. Be careful, though. If you get blood on your clothes, the enemy will see through your disguise. If you do get blood on your clothes, go into the survival viewer and change into a different outfit. After a while, the blood should come out on its own. As long as you're disguised as a scientist, you won't be able to equip guns and knives. On the other hand, you might be able to equip items that don't look like weapons at first glance. Snake, enemy soldiers who operate indoors aren't equipped with radios. To communicate with command, they'll have to use the radio-equipped alarm systems located on the walls. If you're spotted by an enemy, you can avoid going into alert phase by taking him out before he can use the alarm system. The distance that you throw grenades and other throwable weapons is determined by how hard you press the weapon button. Snake, when you stand up... Snake, remember...
You can capture animals alive. To take a rest, all you have to... You can capture... Snake, be careful when you approach the enemy.
So you're wearing the scientist uniform. Wearing that scientist outfit lets you pose as a scientist. But be forewarned, you can't equip most of your weapons while you're disguised as a scientist. Even when you're disguised, your cover will be blown if you get blood on your clothes or something. If you do get blood on your clothes, take them off and switch to another outfit. The bloodstain should come out after a little while. Splitter is an indoor face paint. Tiger Stripe is a forest camouflage. Your field uniform is...
Saving the game, Snake? Snake, I'm behind you 100%.
Thanks. That means a lot.
If you get a chance, try interrogating a scientist. He might have some valuable information for you. Remove your disguise temporarily and use CQC to grab a scientist. Then press the left stick. Snake, be careful of those scientists as well. Snake?
Ah, a handkerchief soaked with a knockout drug, you say? With that thing, I'll bet you could put the enemy to sleep just by grabbing them in CQC. You could also press the weapon button to wave the hanky around and spread the knockout drug that way. But there's only enough drug for one use, so you'll have to go soak it if you want to use it again. You should be able to find some sort of anesthetic around there. Desert is a brown color.
Saving the game, Snake? Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
Something I can help you with?
If you're looking for Sokolov, he's not here anymore. Put that thing away. You'll spoil my drink. So, you're the intruder everyone's talking about. Typical capitalist dog. No manners.
And who are you?
You mean you've never heard of me? And you call yourself an agent? Very well, then. I am Alexander Leonovich Granin. A man of some importance, if I do say so myself. I am the foremost weapons scientist in the Soviet Union, and the head of the glorious Granin Design Bureau. This is the Order of Lenin. It is an honor of the greatest magnitude, given along with the title of Hero of Socialism to only the finest workers. It was awarded to me in recognition of my brilliant contributions to society. Since the Great Patriotic War, I have created countless weapons in the service of our great communist society. It was thanks to me that we were able to stamp out the Nazi scum. It was I who created the basic design for the mobile ballistic missile system you know and fear as SS-1C.
You're crocked, aren't you?
I'm merely drowning my sorrow. The Because of him, I've got nothing to do but sit here and drink this crap.
Him?
Sokolov. It's him you're looking for, isn't it? Because of him, I have been stripped of my authority. My research has come to nothing. Look. It is a revolutionary mobile nuclear missile system. A bipedal tank.
A bipedal tank?
Yes, a walking tank. A robot. Are you familiar with the theory of the missing link between apes and humans? Well, this technology will be the missing link between infantry and artillery. A kind of Metal Gear, if you will. And this magnificent Metal Gear will mark a revolutionary step forward in weapons development.
Metal Gear?
But I won't be used so easily. No crying myself to sleep. For you see, I'm going to send these documents to my friend in the United States.
What?
These bastards will live to regret this. And when they themselves become the targets of my creation, they will know my true greatness. Yes, Sokolov's pathetic Shagohod pales in comparison to my work. What are you going to do with a rocket engine on a tank?
About Sokolov.
A tank does not need a rocket. It needs something else. Look at these.
Nice shoes.
No. Legs. Legs that allow it to go anywhere. Just as when humans learn to walk upright. That is the real revolution in weaponry. Don't you agree? But the fool's in charge. Joe Sokolov.
And where is Sokolov?
My project has been terminated. The Philosopher's legacy has been handed over to him.
What the hell are you talking about?
The Philosopher's legacy. Haven't you heard of the Philosophers? The Colonel has inherited their immense legacy. Volgin's father was in charge of the Philosopher's money laundering activities. In the confusion of the war, they somehow ended up with their treasure. And Volgin inherited that treasure illegally. We never need to worry about the military budget. The development costs at our facility are all paid out of the Colonel's deep pockets. The weapons born here will be the genes for creating an entirely new form of warfare. The funding for my research came out of that legacy. Came out of it. Now, my money, my men, all have been diverted to the Shagohod project. Tomorrow, they will be conducting the final test, while Sokolov is making the final preparations in the weapons factory at Volgin's main base, the great fortress of Groznyj Grad. Here I am, playing host to an enemy spy and drinking myself into a stupor.
That's where they moved Sokolov?
Yes.
And the Shagohod is there, too?
Of course. Hey! You're not thinking of going to Groznyj Grad. Are you mad? It's an impenetrable fortress.
I'm sure it is.
You'll be killed.
I'll take my chances.
Wait.
What?
Listen to me, you fool. I want to help you.
Help me?
To thank you for your compliment.
What compliment?
My shoes. Tatiana gave them to me. I wanted to thank you for complimenting me on them. I'll tell you how to get into the fortress. In return, I ask only that you get that idiot out of there and destroy the Shagohod. There is an underground tunnel that runs around the perimeter of the fortress. You should be able to use it to sneak into the base. Head for the mountains. The entrance to the tunnel is located there. Take this. You passed through a warehouse on your way here, didn't you?
Yeah.
There should have been a locked door inside of it. Do you remember it? This key will open that door. Beyond that door lies a vast jungle. You can climb up into the mountains from the far end of the jungle. Go back to the warehouse. Use the key to open the locked door and head for the mountains. Got it?
Why are you helping me?
Unlike Sokolov, the thought of defecting has never once crossed my mind. I love my country. I love this land. I cannot even imagine living anywhere else. I wish to remain a hero of the great motherland. I cannot bear the thought of being hounded into a corner and left to waste away. It is already dawn. You must hurry. I will remain here and nurse my troubles for a little longer. To capitalism!
Major, Sokolov's already been moved to the fortress.
But that's only what Granin told you, right? He may have been giving you false info.
No, he wasn't lying.
How can you be so sure?
Gut feeling.
Good enough for me. According to Granin, you should be able to get to the mountains through a passage located deep in the jungle beyond the warehouse.
Right. Then if I climb the mountains, there'll be an underground tunnel leading to Groznyj Grad near the summit.
Start out by going back to the warehouse. Use the key you got from Granin to open the door and proceed into the jungle. You remember where the door is, don't you? It's directly north of the door you went in when you came from the aqueduct. According to Granin, you should be able to get to the mountains through a passage located deep in the jungle beyond the warehouse. Start out by going back to the warehouse. Use the key you got from Granin to open the door and proceed into the jungle. You remember where the door is, don't you? It's directly north of the door you went in when you came from the aqueduct. The assault rifle works a little differently from the handgun. In the corner view, press the left step button or the right step. Snake, the fake death and revival pills we gave you are the latest in... In the corner view, press...
To take a rest, you can capture... Snake be... The gate...
Sigint, Granin said something about putting legs on a tank. Do you know what he was talking about?
If you ask me, it's gotta be a joke. Not only is making a tank walk on two legs a technical nightmare, but there's no point in making a walking tank to begin with. Putting legs on a tank would raise its clearance, increasing its frontal projection area. It'd also be less stable. Suppose the legs help the tank travel on bad roads. I don't see the logic in that. Isn't that what treads are for? I mean, anybody who'd seriously consider making a thing like that has got to be a wacko. Come to think of it, there was a guy in the States who wrote a paper on that subject. What was his name? Emerson? Heinrich? Something like that. I don't really remember. course, no one took that seriously.
Sigint, Granin was saying that Sokolov's research project was a tank fitted with rockets.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any idea what he meant?
Sorry, beats me. I wonder if it's supposed to increase the tank's mobility, or maybe give the tank short-range missile launching capability. But you're sure it has something to do with Phase 2 of the Shagohod, right?
Yeah.
Khrushchev traded Cuba just to get this thing finished, and Volgin blew up a Soviet research facility to get his hands on it. Whatever it is, it's gotta be big.
Sigint, do you know anything about that philosopher's legacy Granin was talking about?
Not a clue. Never even heard of something like that until now.
Right.
One thing's for sure, though. Volgin's got a huge amount of money stashed away somewhere. Philosopher's legacy, huh? Maybe it is real. That Order of Lenin that Granin was talking about is the most prestigious award in the Soviet Union. It's given to individuals, organizations, and cities for outstanding achievements in warfare, science, industry, the arts, and various other fields. You could say it's the highest honor the East has to give. You say Granin was involved in the development of the SS-1C. The SS-1C is the Soviets' newest short-range tactical ballistic missile. Based on what Western intel has been able to gather, it's capable of being launched from a mobile platform.
A mobile platform?
Yeah. It's a transport vehicle that functions as an erector and a launcher. It can travel on roads, then erect and launch a missile from any location. Of course, in addition to conventional explosives, the missiles could also be fitted with chemical or even nuclear warheads.
A nuclear missile that can be launched from any location.
I'll bet it wasn't the missile itself that Granin helped develop. More likely, it was the mobile platform. From what I've heard, the SS-1C is set for actual deployment as early as next year. That's bound to send a chill down NATO's spine. Pattern clothing, face paint. Tree bark is a forest pattern. Tree bark is a The woodland...
You want to save? Chin up.
I'll be in touch.
Help me!
We have an intruder. Support units, move out.
So, you found yourself a cigarette-shaped narcosis gun. The cigarette-shaped narcosis gun is just what the name says, a sleeping gas gun shaped like a cigarette. It must be a test model that Granin's lab is working on for KGB spies. Equip it and press the weapon button to fire sleeping gas. It's got a short range, but any enemy that gets hit by the gas will be knocked out cold. Desert is a brown-colored face paint used for operations in mountainous terrain as well. It should let you blend in well in mountain and desert environments. What's wrong?
Huh? I hear footsteps.
According to Granin, you should be able to get to the mountains through a passage located deep in the jungle beyond the warehouse. Start out by going back to the warehouse. Use the key you got from Granin to open the door and proceed into the jungle. You remember where the door is, don't you? It's directly north of the door you went in when you came from the aqueduct. When you're out in nature, you'll... Snake, let me Snake? Snake?
That area. When you get hurt.
When you fire continue. In addition.
Do you want to save? Snake, I'm behind you 100%.
Thanks. That means a lot.
In the venom of the Brazilian wandering spider. Soon a most exquisite pain will engulf your entire body. Your limbs will be paralyzed, your lungs cease to draw breath. Eventually your heart will stop beating. But what fun would that be? Not a fitting end at all. The boss's apprentice. I will give you fear such as you've never experienced before. Come into my web. It is time for you to feel the fear.
Snake, are you all right?
You've been shot with a poison bolt. The poison is spreading throughout your body. Your life is going to keep decreasing unless you do something about it. Hurry and neutralize the poison. Go into the survival viewer and use Cure to give yourself a serum injection. The serum will neutralize the poison, but don't forget to treat the bolt wound itself as well. To treat a bolt wound, you'll need your knife, a styptic, and a disinfectant. Use your knife to dig out the bolt, and then apply styptic and disinfectant to the wound. Follow those steps and the wound should heal right up. Now start the treatment. Hurry!
The Fear is using something called stealth camouflage to conceal himself. But you should be able to spot him if you look closely in first-person view. Watch for rustling grass, falling leaves, anything that will betray his presence. Find him and shoot him in first-person view. The Fear's stealth camouflage apparently drains his stamina rather quickly. Once he's used up his stamina, he'll have no choice but to go looking for food. That's your chance. Throw one of your food items to set a trap for him. Plant a claymore or some TNT and lure him into it, or lure him into one of his own traps. Giving him poisoned or rotten food may also work well. Used properly, your food can be a weapon. You can knock down the Fear's bolts with your gun or knife. If you can't dodge a bolt, go into first-person view and shoot it down. Snake, be careful. Those woods are riddled with traps. Watch your step as you go along. Look out for areas of bottomless swamp. Even if you don't trigger a trap, the Fear can still use it to attack you by setting it off himself. Be careful about standing too close to traps. On the other hand, you might be able to use his own traps against him. For example, you can place some food next to a trap and lure him over to it. Use your head. Snake, be careful. Those woods are riddled with traps. You can knock down the Fear's bolts with your gun or knife. The Fear's stealth camouflage.
You've been shot with a poison bolt. The Fear coats his poison bullets with venom from the Brazilian wandering spider. The Brazilian wandering spider is said to have the deadliest venom of any spider in the world. It's a potent neurotoxin, so if you get hit by one of the Fear's poison bolts, go to Cure in the survival viewer and inject yourself with serum immediately before it kills you. The rabbits in that area have antibodies that protect them against the venom of the Brazilian wandering spider. They probably built up an immunity from the Fear using them to test his poison bolts. Catching one of those rabbits will give you some serum. If you run out of serum, go catch a rabbit. The Fear coats his... The rabbits in that area have... To treat a cut, you need disinfectant, styptic, sutures, and a bandage. As long as you use all those items, the cut should heal up completely. Hurry and get it fixed up. To treat a bolt wound, you'll need your... To treat a...
Snake, the Fear is supposed to be wearing some kind of stealth camo. I don't know how it works exactly, but it seems to refract the light around it somehow to hide the person who's wearing it. This is the best camouflage I've ever seen. It's going to be tough to figure out where he is. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have a weak point. Apparently, wearing stealth camo really drains your stamina. When he's out of stamina, the camo will stop working. Don't miss your opportunity. Just because he's wearing stealth camo doesn't mean he's not there. You can still figure out his location by using your sensors. Make use of your motion detector and active sonar. The thermal goggles should help you out too. The Fear uses two kinds of crossbows, the Little Joe and the William Tell. The Little Joe is designed for proximity combat. It's not that powerful, but the reload time is short. The William Tell, on the other hand, is used for long-range combat. It takes a while to reload, but it's got loads of stopping power. Be careful. In addition to regular crossbow bolts, the Fear uses a variety of special bolts, like poison bolts and giant bolts. I've even heard he uses bolts with grenades attached to them. If you get hit by any of these, you're gonna take some serious damage. Watch out. Just because he's wearing stealth camo doesn't mean he's not there. Apparently, wearing stealth camo really drains your stamina.
The fear! I see it! The fear!
According to Granin, you should be able to get to the mountains through a passage located deep in the jungle beyond the warehouse. Start out by going back to the warehouse. Use the key you got from Granin to open the door and proceed into the jungle. You remember where the door is, don't you? It's directly north of the door you went in when you came from the aqueduct. According to Granin, when you creep in, move the right stick the distance that you...
You should be able to find... To take a rest, all you have... To eat food.
Clappers, arrows, pendulums, all of these traps are set off by applying force to a rope. Don't touch the ropes and you'll be fine. Use rolling to get over them, or just crawl under them. Either way ought to work. When you fire continuously with a... Squares is...
Saving the game, Snake? Snake, I'm behind you 100%.
Thanks. That means a lot.
Munchies!
Snake, are you there?
Eva, where are you?
In the fortress, in Groznyj Grad. Dr. Sokolov is here too.
Is he all right?
He's fine. Right now he's busy putting the finishing touches on the Shagohod.
Good. That means they haven't killed him.
Not yet anyway, but you better hurry. They've already finished the Phase 2 tests. Once the final preparations are complete, they'll have no more use for him. The Colonel won't have any qualms about killing him if he thinks the CIA is closing in.
Eva, you can't let Sokolov out of your sight.
I know. Snake, do you know where Groznyj Grad is?
Granin told me that I should be able to get there from the mountains to the north, through an underground tunnel.
Granin told you?
Yeah, he even gave me the key to the warehouse.
Why?
Because he was drunk, I guess.
You've got to be kidding me.
Hell if I know.
Snake, there's one problem with that route.
What problem?
The mountain entrance to the underground tunnel that leads to the fortress is sealed. You need a key to get in.
A key? What about the key Granin gave me?
That key won't work. But don't worry, I'll figure something out. I have an idea. There are some ruins at the top of the mountains. Meet me there.
The top of the mountains. Got it.
Wait, there's something else I've got to tell you.
What's that?
I heard that the ocelots have set up an ambush for you in the jungle at the foot of the mountains. Apparently, they've even got snipers positioned there.
An ambush?
Watch yourself.
Snake, have you been contacted by Eva?
Yeah. She said we'd meet up in the ruins at the top of the mountains. She also said she'd picked up the key to get into the tunnel that leads to Groznyj Grad.
Good. Hurry to the rendezvous with Eva. Head for the mountains. Proceed north through the woods. There's an entrance to a mine shaft at the far northeast corner. Climb up the shaft and you'll come out in the mountains. Head north.
I'm on it.
But stay on your toes. The ocelots are supposed to be lying in wait for you. They may even have snipers in position.
I know, but there's no other way.
Proceed with caution.
Roger that.
Snake, that forest is immense. It's too dangerous to proceed without adequate information. Give Eva a call. In the corner view, press the left step. Snake, in the corner view, you can climb.
There's a mushroom called the spatsa growing in that area.
Spatsa. Spatsa?
Right.
Interesting name. So, paramedic.
What?
What kind of mushroom is a spatsa?
You really want to know?
I guess so.
Okay, let's see. The spatsa...
Yeah?
It's gray. And it grows on the ground.
Yeah, and?
That's all.
That's all?
That's all the guide says. Okay, so I don't know that much about it. Why don't you eat one and see? It might be pretty tasty.
Eat one and see? What do I look like, a lab rat? Shh. What did I say?
What if the rats hear you? You'll hurt their feelings. Snake, there should be vine melons growing in that area. The vine melon is a kind of melon commonly found in Tselinoyarsk. Like the name says, it's a melon that grows on a vine. The flesh is crisp and delicious. The vine melon is full of potassium and carotene, so it's good for you as well. Next time you see a vine, why not check to see if there's a melon growing on it? Some types of food spoil faster than others. Animal and fish meat goes bad relatively fast, but plants and mushrooms generally last a little longer. Animals won't go bad if you capture them alive, though. You can tell whether food has gone bad or not by looking closely at the icon on the food screen in the survival viewer. So be sure to check the icon before you eat the food. If you eat spoiled food, you'll get sick and end up with a stomachache. Snake, be careful. That air... Snake, that... To eat...
Covering your body is... You can take... Tiger straw...
The name of that forest is Sviato Gorny. In Russian, it means something like the sacred mountain path. The name comes from an old folk tale about mountain spirits who passed through there on their way to Sokrovieno, the forest to the north. Head north and you'll come to Sokrovieno. The tunnel that leads to the mountains is in the northern area of Sokrovieno. I'll meet you in the ruins at the top of the mountains. I'll give you the key to the tunnel leading to Groznyj Grad when you get there. Remember, go north. But Sokrovieno is also where...
I know. The ocelots, right?
Yeah. The Ocelot unit is waiting for you in Sokrovieno. I hear they've even got snipers in position. Watch your back.
Eva.
What?
I couldn't get a hold of you for a while there. What were you doing?
What do you think I was doing?
That's what I'm asking you.
Why are you asking me that?
Because I want to know, that's why.
Want to know what?
Will you stop answering my questions with questions?
Are you mad? See ya. Now all you have to do is follow the tunnel north to the mountains of Krasnogorye. But you might want to swing around east first. There's a provision storehouse there. Now all you have to do is head north and you'll come to Sokorovieno. The tunnel that leads to the mountains is in the northern area of Sokorovieno. I'll meet you in the ruins at the top of the mountains. I'll give you the key to the tunnel leading to Groznyj Grad when you get there. Remember, go north. Just be careful. The Ocelot unit is waiting for you in Sokorovieno. I hear they've even got snipers in position. Watch your back. Head north and...
Saving the game, Snake? Chin up.
I'll be in touch.
Eva said there was a provisions storehouse in the east of that forest. Why don't you go and pay it a visit? Proceed north through the woods. There's an entrance to a mine shaft at the far northeast corner. Climb up the shaft and you'll come out in the mountains. Head north. Snake, remember that the suppressor is a limited commodity. When the suppressor's durability wears away, it breaks beyond repair. See the weapon icon to check the suppressor's present level of durability. Remove the suppressor from your gun if you want to make it last. Select the weapon that the suppressor is on with the weapon window button and press the Enter button to attach or detach the suppressor. Regulate usage of the suppressor based on the situation. Press the Action button from Snake. Certain enemies equip food.
You'll catch a cold if you hang around too long without any clothes on. Eat food to recover stamina. When you get hurt, to take...
You're on a so you've got...
Now all you have to do is follow...
Eva,
Yes?
who is that Tatiana?
Taken a liking to her, have we? Yeah, she's a cutie.
Who is she?
I don't know that much about her, but from what I can tell, she seems to be Sokolov's lover.
Can you find out a little more?
Snake. She already has a man.
Eva?
All right, just give me a minute. Now all you have to do is follow the tunnel north. Now all you have to do is...
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks. Speak.
Fire support request 141.31.
Now all you have to... Now all you have... Head north.
Snake, that building next to you is a provisions storehouse.
A provision storehouse is where the enemy keeps their food. Enemy units in that area use it to stock up on rations. So if you happen to blow up a provision storehouse, the enemies in that area won't be able to get any more rations. Spetsnaz are people too. They gotta eat, or their stamina starts to go down. They might pass out more easily or lose their concentration and start to shoot less accurately. Who knows? They'll probably be a little more desperate for food just lying around. Basically, if you get rid of a provision storehouse, the enemies in that area will get physically weaker.
By destroying a provisions warehouse, you can cut off the food supply to enemies in the surrounding area. It may be worthwhile if you have time and materials to spare. Snake, that building next to you is a provisions storehouse. By destroying a provisions when you press the weapon button with the handgun, you aim, and when you release it, you fire. You can't keep hanging forever. Once you run out of grip strength, you'll fall. Snake, it's possible.
You'll get a stomachache. Snake, there are rats living in that area. Snake, you will encounter Baltic hornets' nests in that area. Baltic hornets are a variety of hornets that inhabit that area. The difference between them and other hornets is that they produce honey in their nests. Inside the nests are larvae, pupa, and adults. You can eat them all. In particular, the honey you find inside the nest is delicious and full of nutrients. It's easy to digest and helps pep you up when you're feeling tired. In short, it's the perfect survival food. Honey can also be used as a burn ointment. When honey is applied to a burn, it creates a protective coating over the skin. When you knock down a hornet's nest, a burn ointment will appear along with it, so don't forget to pick it up. Of course, the hornets aren't going to give up their nest without a fight. If you knock a nest down, a large swarm of hornets will come flying out, so be careful. The gauge below your life gauge. Snake, you will encounter Baltic hornets' nest. Snake, be careful when you approach the end. Snake, there are rats living in that area.
Tiger stripe is a forest camouflage. In addition to AKs, some of the patrols you'll encounter might be equipped with Scorpion submachine guns. Whenever you find a new weapon,
The Ocelot unit is waiting for you in Sokrovieno. The Ocelot... The Ocelot... The Ocelot...
HQ, please respond.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We're being attacked. Enemy position unknown. Going into high alert.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
What's wrong?
Hell? He must be lurking nearby.
Snake, be careful. Aren't the ocelots supposed to be setting an ambush for you in those woods?
Yeah, and I hear they've got snipers too.
The ocelots are an elite unit handpicked from the ranks of Gru. You won't find them so easy to deal with. Use your camouflage to avoid being seen. Proceed with caution. Your primary objective is to climb the mountains and rendezvous with Eva. There's no need to face the ocelots in battle. The shaft leading to the mountains is located in the northeast part of the northern area of the woods. Keep an eye out for ambushes and head northeast. Snake, be on the lookout for ambushes by the ocelots. They may be hiding in the bushes and similar places. Make sure you're fully camouflaged and proceed with caution. The binoculars and first-person view will prove useful in detecting the enemy's presence. You should also be making use of your motion detector, active sonar, and anti-personnel sensor. You might also try using the directional microphone. The thermal goggles should also be effective. The ocelots are an elite unit handpicked from the ranks of Gru. You won't find them so easy to deal with. Use your camouflage to avoid being seen. Proceed with caution. The binoculars and first-person view will prove useful in detecting the enemy's presence. You should also be making use of your motion detector, active sonar, and anti-personnel sensor. You might also try using the directional microphone. The thermal goggles should also be effective. The binoculars and...
Snake, those snipers will be aiming right for your vital spots. They're precise, and you're likely to be seriously wounded if you get hit. Use your camouflage to sneak past them without being seen. Broken bones can be fully healed by fixing the affected area in place with a fastener and wrapping it in bandages. Do it quickly. Snake, you run a higher risk of getting seriously injured if you're hit by an attack at close range. When you have a serious injury, like a gunshot wound or a burn, your maximum life will decrease. Snake, those snipers will be aiming right for your vital spots. They're precise, and you're likely to be seriously wounded if you get hit. Use your camouflage to sneak past them without being seen. Snake, keep an eye on your stamina gauge.
Snake, watch out for ambushes by the ocelots. Use your motion detector and active sonar to help you get ahead. Snake, if you fire that thing without a suppressor attached, the bang and the muzzle flash will give your position away to the enemy. Attach a suppressor and you won't have to worry about all that. To attach a suppressor, open the weapon window and press the circle button. Snake, if you fire that thing without a suppressor attached, the bang and the muzzle flash will give your position away to the enemy. Attach a suppressor and you won't have to worry about all that. To attach a suppressor, open the weapon window and press the circle button. If they're using a carbine version of the AMD-63 like I'm thinking, then they could be a serious threat. Those things handle better than the AK-47s, especially at close range. And don't forget, the ocelots are elites. They're gonna be better shots than normal Spetsnaz, and you're that much more likely to get seriously hurt. Keep your eyes open. Snake, they're using stun grenades. Watch out!
The entrance to the shaft leading to the mountains is in the northeast part of the northern area. Take out those ocelots and head for the shaft. The forest you're in now is known as Sokrovieno. The name means the most holy woods. It's been venerated since ancient times as the sacred home of the spirits of the forest. It's the largest and deepest forest in the region and is divided into 3 areas: south, west, and north. Try not to get lost, okay? There's an armory in the southern area. If you need some extra ammo, you might want to pay it a visit. Be careful. I've heard the ocelots are lying in wait for you in the forest. The entrance to the tunnel is in the northeastern part of the northern area. Try to make it there in one piece. The ocelots are an elite unit hand-picked from the ranks of Spetsnaz, GRU's special forces. So naturally, their fighting skills are second to none. They're crack shots, and if they hit you, you'll likely be seriously wounded. Avoid taking them head-on. If they manage to surround you in large numbers, you're finished. Use your camouflage to conceal yourself from them and keep moving. Be careful. I've heard the ocelots are lying in wait for you in the forest. The entrance to the shaft leading to the mountains is in the northeast part of the northern area. The entrance to the shaft leading to the mountains is in the northeast part of...
You want to save? I'll get right on it. Snake, be careful out there.
Don't worry.
Snake, the ladder at the end of that shaft should take you up into the mountains. Proceed to the back and climb the ladder. Snake, the ladder at the end of that shaft. Snake, remember that this... When you creep in... Move the right...
Snake, be careful when you approach the enemy. Eat food to recover. When you get...
Whenever you find a new weapon or piece... But the suppressor... You're
Good. You're in the tunnel. The ladder at the end of the tunnel will take you up into the mountains. Head down the tunnel and climb up the ladder. Snake, I found out what I could about your Tanya. Just as I thought, she's apparently Sokolov's lover. When Sokolov was taken away from his research facility, she was taken along with him.
So she's been with him since he was at the research facility?
That's what it looks like.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Why?
The Major said Sokolov wasn't the kind of guy who'd take a lover.
Maybe he was lonely, being away from his family for so long. And whatever else he is, Sokolov's still a man. It's only natural he'd be attracted to her.
Only natural?
She's irresistible, gorgeous in a girl-next-door kind of way. Nice proportions, too. Sounds like your type, huh?
Eva.
Gotta go. Good. You're in the tunnel. Good. You're in the tunnel. Good. You're in the... I'll meet you in the ruins at the top of the mountains.
Eva, how are things on your end? Are you going to be able to make it?
I'm fine. I managed to slip out okay, though I did run into a few snags.
Is there a problem?
I took a little detour on my way here.
Detour?
Yeah, I thought since you went to all this trouble to meet me, I should give you a present.
A present? What is it?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
It's a secret. You'll find out when you get here. I'll meet you in the ruins at the top of the mountains. I'll meet you...
If there's something to grab... When you...
Treating serious...
You found your way to the mountains, I see. There's an underground tunnel near the top. You can use it to sneak into Groznyj Grad. But Eva said the door to the tunnel is sealed off.
Yeah, she's supposed to bring me the key.
First, rendezvous with Eva and get the key from her. The rendezvous point is in the ruins at the summit. The summit is still further up the mountain. Keep heading up towards the summit. Snake, paramedic has something to tell you.
Snake, the altitude in those mountains is pretty high. That means the oxygen concentration in the air is lower than normal. When there's less oxygen in the air, naturally you'll be breathing less oxygen as well, and the oxygen content of your blood will go down. In other words, you run the risk of becoming hypoxic. Hypoxia is a very serious condition. In the worst cases, it can lead to pulmonary and cerebral edema. I don't think you need to worry right now, but all the same, be careful.
So, what do I need to be careful about?
In high-altitude areas, you will tire quicker than normal.
Okay.
Snake, climbing uphill takes a lot of stamina as it is, but on top of that, the air up there is thinner than normal. You're burning through stamina a lot faster now than ever before. Keep an eye on your stamina gauge. Be sure to eat something to restore your stamina before you run out.
Snake, watch out for enemy soldiers carrying RPG-7s. A full-on rocket blast is not something you can just walk away from. However, it takes some time to reload a rocket launcher. Use that opening to your advantage. The distance that you throw... Snake, did you notice that when you knock and... After you've grabbed an...
Snake, climbing uphill takes a lot of stamina as it is, but on top of that, the air up there is thinner than normal. You're burning through stamina a lot faster now than ever before. Keep an eye on your stamina gauge. Be sure to eat something to restore your stamina before you run out. Snake, watch out. That area is home to the Emperor Scorpion. The Emperor Scorpion is said to be the largest scorpion in the world. Its venom is a potent neurotoxin, so take care that you don't get stung. If you do get stung, go into the survival viewer and use Cure to inject yourself with serum right away.
Okay. So how's it taste?
Not very good, I'm afraid.
Oh.
Don't get so discouraged. There are other ways to use it besides eating it, right?
Like what?
Like catching one alive with a tranquilizer gun and throwing it at the enemy?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if you even remember that you were on a mission. There should be white-rumped vultures living in that area. The white-rumped vulture is a type of vulture found in India. Its diet consists mostly of dead animal carcasses. I don't think it'll attack you, but it's a fairly large bird of prey, so you probably won't be able to capture it alive using the tranquilizer gun.
Got it.
But there is something here that's bothering me.
What is it?
They say the white-rumped vulture doesn't just eat animal carcasses. It eats human ones as well.
Is that so?
Yeah. So then if a person eats a white-rumped vulture, does that mean he's eating human meat too? What do you think?
Stop it already. You're gonna make me lose my appetite.
Snake, climbing up... That area is home to the Thai Cobra. The Thai Cobra is a large venomous snake that carries an extremely potent neurotoxin. Be careful not to get bitten. If you do get bitten, go into the survival viewer right away and use Cure to give yourself a serum injection. Snake, watch out. That area is home to the Emperor Scorpion. The Emperor Scorpion is said to be the largest scorpion in the world. Its venom is a potent neurotoxin, so take care that you don't get stung. If you do get stung, go into the survival viewer and use Cure to inject yourself with serum right away. Snake, watch out. Leeches will... Snake.
Leaf pattern is a... Whenever you find a new weapon or piece of... So you've got...
You made it to the mountains. Those mountains are known as Krasnogorye. The name means the Red Mountain Ridge in Russian. The entire range has been fortified to act as a defense for the great fortress of Groznyj Grad. The area near the top has been dug with bunkers and trenches, and there are anti-aircraft gun emplacements everywhere. It's literally an impenetrable wall. Proceed with caution. Oh, there's a provision storehouse in the hillside area, and there's an armory at the summit. I'll meet you in the ruins at the top of the mountains. The summit is still a ways up. Keep going forward. You must be worn out from all that mountain climbing. There's a provision storehouse at the back of the hillside area. Why don't you go stock up on rations? I'll meet you in the I'll meet you...
Saving the game, Snake?
Paramedic, what was that movie you were talking about earlier?
Which one?
My mother, the teenage whatever.
Oh, that. Sorry. The Major was talking to me at the time and I wasn't really paying attention. Don't worry. I'll get it right next time.
here after all. Huh? Huh? Are those footsteps?
Snake, remember that the suppressor is a limited commodity. When the suppressor's durability wears away, it breaks beyond repair. See the weapon icon to check the suppressor's present level of durability. Remove the suppressor from your gun if you want to make it last. Select the weapon that the suppressor is on with the weapon window button, and press the Enter button to attach or detach the suppressor. Regulate usage of the suppressor based on the situation. First, rendezvous with Eva and get the key from her. The rendezvous point is in the ruins at the summit. The summit is still further up the mountain. Keep heading up towards the summit. Snake, if you have a gun, with an equip...
That area is home to the Thai Cobra. Snake, watch out. There should be...
You're on a snow, as you might... The chocolate chip pattern is probably designed to provide cover in a desert environment. Splitter was used quite a bit in...
Stay alert. Volgan has sent out attack choppers to stop you. You saw them at the heliport, didn't you? They're probably already patrolling the area.
I don't see it.
Really?
No.
You must have missed it. Look again.
No, it's not here.
Maybe it's because you destroyed that one at the heliport. But I'm sure it'll be there, in the next area. Honest. I'll meet you in the ruins. I'll meet you in the ruins. I'll meet you in the ruins.
You want to save? Snake, have you ever seen North by Northwest?
Missed that one.
It's about this ordinary guy who runs an ad agency. He's mistaken for someone else and gets kidnapped and forced to do a certain job. As a result, he gets tangled up in a conspiracy, and pretty soon he's traveling to New York, Chicago, and even Mount Rushmore in pursuit of the real culprit. Hitchcock's films always keep you on the edge of your seat, but sometimes they can be funny when you least expect it. That's why I love them.
Have you seen all of his films?
All of them? Oh, not even close. He's been making movies since before I was born. I guess I might have seen some of them on TV. But the first movie I ever saw in the theater was a Hitchcock film. We all went and saw it as a family. It was Rebecca.
This was when you were a kid?
Yeah, my parents loved watching movies, so they took me along. I didn't quite understand the plot, but for some reason I thought it was really scary. Actually, I remember the candy bar they bought me on the way home better than the movie itself.
That's when you fell in love with movies?
You could say that. It was like an irresistible force at that point. I was completely swept away.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. Found signs of an intruder. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
Footsteps. 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 There are footsteps.
Snake, Eva is a KGB spy placed in Gru. She can't be seen by the enemy making direct contact with you. If you're being pursued by the enemy, don't expect Eva to come out to meet you. Make sure it's normal phase before you attempt to make contact with Eva. If the enemies in that area catch sight of you, they'll call in for support from the Hind. The Hind's armor is impenetrable to normal fire, such as rifle bullets. But if you take over one of the anti-aircraft guns placed throughout the mountains, you should be able to take it on. You can also try using the RPG-7. Snake, if you find an... Snake, press the left stick down. You can only grab an enemy using CQC when you're using a weapon that will... Your action. Press the act...
Snake climbing uphill. Food poisoning. Snake climbing uphill takes a... Snake.
The Hind is armed with a 12.7mm machine gun on the nose and rocket pods and anti-tank missiles on the stub wing hardpoints. Normally, you'd be crazy to try and fight it on foot. If it starts attacking with the machine gun or the rockets, take cover behind something as fast as you can. As for the missiles, you should be able to knock out their guidance system by using a chaff grenade to block the radio signal. Your assault rifle won't penetrate the Hind's armor. Try the RPG-7. If you can take over one of the anti-aircraft guns in the mountains, you'll be more than a match for that Hind. The Hind is a transport attack chopper that can carry personnel. It might drop some troops on you. Don't get caught off guard. The Hind is protected by heavy armor, but a rifle bullet might be able to penetrate through the cockpit canopy. Try using the SVD. When you're using the Hind is
Snake, as I was saying before, there's an attack chopper in that area.
So it would seem.
You saw them at the heliport, didn't you? They're probably already patrolling the area. If you get spotted by the enemy, you'll be dealing with that thing.
Don't worry. I found an RPG-7. That should be enough to swat down a few flies.
You could also try using an anti-aircraft gun. You can take over an anti-aircraft gun by pressing the action button when you're near it.
Eva, is that attack chopper the escape route you were talking about?
No, that thing doesn't have enough range for us to escape in.
So what are we going to use?
Something you've never been in before.
Something I've never been in.
That's right. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Stay alert. Volgan has sent out attack choppers to stop you. I'll meet you in the... Stay alert.
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Snake, have you ever heard of the Blob?
No, I haven't.
A meteorite falls in a small town, and inside there's this kind of living ooze. The ooze starts swallowing people and grows to an enormous size. After it eats a bunch of the townspeople, it starts to fill up a movie theater. Then these young people try to save the town from its gruesome fate. It's pretty frightening to see something that's not even supposed to be alive suddenly start moving around and eating people.
Not something you see every day. I could go for seconds.
That's the entrance to the underground tunnel Eva was talking about. Can you open it?
It's no good.
It looks like Eva was right. The door to the underground tunnel won't open without a key. Rendezvous with Eva and get the key from her. Head for the ruins at the summit. Snake, Eva is a KGB spy placed in Gru. She can't be seen by the enemy making direct contact with you. If you're being pursued by the enemy, don't expect Eva to come out to meet you. Make sure it's normal phase before you attempt to make contact with Eva.
Well, that was quick.
You look like you could use some rest.
I'll be fine. It's just that playing these two roles hasn't left me much time to sleep.
Where'd you get those cuts?
The Colonel.
He found out?
If he knew, I'd be dead already. No, this is his hobby. He's a sadist. He gets pleasure out of making people suffer. He's scum. Does it look that strange to you?
No. I'm the same way. Scars all over.
Can I see?
No. Where'd you get this one?
I got it after defecting to the Soviet Union.
I don't think so. It's older than that. Code breaking is a desk job. Where'd you get this kind of scar?
You really want to know? Well, too bad. A girl's gotta have some secrets, you know. But enough about that. You've got to get going. The Phase 2 trial of the Shagohod is about to start, and it looks like someone might be coming to spoil the party.
Khrushchev?
His forces are on their way here. The Colonel is gathering his troops together to meet them. If we don't get a move on, the security will be even tighter than it is now. You'll need this key. It unlocks the door to the underground tunnel. Once you're in there, you can follow the tunnel to get inside Groznyj Grad. And take this too.
What is it?
The food of the future. A well-balanced meal for the space age. It's good to eat some real food once in a while. I'll bet if I kissed you, you'd taste like a wild beast.
Do you know where exactly in Groznyj Grad Sokolov is located?
He's in the heart of the fortress, the weapons lab. The weapons lab is divided into 3 wings. There's the East Wing, which houses the research facilities. Then there's the main wing where the weapons are assembled. That's where the Shagohod is. Finally, there's the West Wing, which is connected via a passageway to the main building. That's where Sokolov is. To get in, you'll have to enter the main wing from the East Wing. Then, go through the passageway on the 2nd floor of the main wing.
The West Wing of the weapons lab. Got it.
There's just one problem.
Not again.
The West Wing is protected by the highest level of security. You need to be Colonel class to get in.
Colonel class?
Here, look at this picture. Major Ivan Rydenovich Rykov. Pretend you're him.
How do I do that?
steal his clothes. You look similar from behind. They won't know the difference. Your face might be a problem, so you just have to figure something out. He should be somewhere in the East Wing.
All right. But how am I supposed to escape once I get Sokolov out of there? Command said you're supposed to have something ready for me.
And I do. There's a lake 30 miles north of here. I hid a wig there.
A wig?
It's a state-of-the-art ground effect vehicle.
A ground effect vehicle? I can't fly one of those.
That's okay. I happen to be an excellent pilot.
Taking off from a lake is trickier than it looks. It's not like riding a motorcycle. You've got to be more delicate.
Of course I will. You've seen how good I am with the bike, right?
Right. You handle the escape then. I'll head for Groznyj Grad.
Wait a minute. There's something I wanted to ask you.
What?
What's the story between you and the boss?
She was like a mother, and my master.
And your lover?
It went deeper than that.
Deeper?
Half of me belongs to the boss.
Do you love her?
No, nothing like that.
Do you hate her?
Does it have to be one or the other? Love or hate?
Between a man and a woman? You bet.
For 10 years, we lived and died together. You couldn't possibly understand.
And you think you can kill her now? That's your mission, isn't it? Assassinating the boss? Snake? Is there anyone you like? Someone special?
I've never been interested in other people's lives.
You were interested in the boss.
She was different.
Really? How do you feel about me?
I should be asking you the same question.
Me? I can fall in love if it's part of the mission. Even with you. Snake? What's wrong? See you around, Snake. Take care of yourself.
What about you?
I've got to hurry back and play my other part.
Are you going to be okay?
Not sure. They're not stupid, and they know there's a spy. There's no way you could have gotten this far all by yourself.
Colonel. Did he talk?
No, he died before I could get it out of him.
He wasn't the spy then.
Look at this.
A transmitter?
Exactly. Planted to keep someone informed of his location.
But does this mean Granin was the spy?
Perhaps he was being used by someone else.
Perhaps. This man was our comrade.
Comrade or not, he's of no use to us now.
I don't approve of your methods.
I don't need your approval. I'm in command here.
And that nuclear shell?
Still feeling sore about that, are you? What are you gonna do? Report it to the authorities? This is war, Major. A Cold War, fought with information and espionage. We must root out spies wherever they hide. It is kill or be killed. Potential threats must be weeded out. Your feelings are a menace to the unity of our organization. Someone is guiding the enemy's hand. A single man can only accomplish so much. Make no mistake, there is a spy among us.
But casting suspicion on our own comrades.
The C3 explosives have been stolen.
You think it was the American?
No. He could not have reached this fortress yet.
Then who?
I'd be careful about suspecting your own men.
Boss!
Where have you been?
The fear and the end have fallen.
Damn it! CIA dog? That leaves only the Fury. How can the legendary Cobras be beaten so easily?
He's good.
Fallen for him?
Don't worry. I'll take care of him.
What is he after? Must be more than just Sokolov.
America is out to destroy the Shagohod and get its hands on your inheritance. The Philosopher's legacy.
Huh? Impossible. The legacy,
Then they're out to kill me as well. Colonel, tighten the security on this place. He's coming here, I'm sure of it. I'm gonna get the Davy Crockett.
Perfume. Nice boots. Make sure you polish them up properly.
You've got the key from Eva. Now use it to enter the underground tunnel. The great fortress of Groznyj Grad is at the end of that tunnel. The door to the underground tunnel is in the summit area. Hurry. It looks like you can get a nice panoramic view of Groznyj Grad from there. Perhaps you should scout it out now while you can. Just don't do anything too conspicuous. Remember that the attack chopper is still on patrol.
Major, I saw that Tatiana woman again.
We've been analyzing our data, but so far we've been unable to find anyone matching that description. Maybe her posting was so obscure that we simply overlooked it.
Or maybe she's such a VIP that all the data on her has been classified.
That's a possibility, but I'd be tempted to go with the first explanation. We'll keep going over the data.
Thanks.
Snake, press the left stick down on the... When you creep in, move the right...
Some types of food... The horse the boss was riding sounds like an Andalusian. Andalusians are from the region of Andalusia in Spain. They're renowned for their beauty, their gentle nature, and their physical prowess. Just so you know, you can't eat them.
Hey, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but you were going to.
I was?
Yes. Don't even think about eating a horse. Got it?
Guess I'll have to mark it off the list.
What did you say?
I'm just kidding.
Treating serious wounds. Snake be... To take a...
You say Grannon's shoes were rigged with a transmitter? That sounds like something the KGB's been working on lately. It's exactly like you described, a miniature transmitter that's small enough to put in a shoe.
Grannon said he got the shoes from a woman called Tatiana. You think she's a KGB spy?
Could be. Or maybe it's some kind of ploy to throw suspicion on her. Anyway, it's your job to find out.
Good point. Sigint.
Yo.
Eva said she set up a ground effect vehicle for us to make our escape.
So I heard. The ground effect vehicle, or WIG, is something like a cross between an airplane and a boat. It uses ground effect to fly. Ground effect basically means that when the craft skims the surface of the ground, the air between the ground and the wing is compressed, which gives the wing an extra boost. From what Western intelligence agencies have been able to gather, the Russians are pretty serious about developing these WIGs. Apparently, they're planning on using them for anti-submarine patrols. I guess I can see why. The WIG's long cruising range and high-speed capabilities make it a good choice for that kind of mission. Eva must have gotten her hands on one of the first prototypes while it was being field tested as a transport craft. The WIG has a top speed of over 400 miles per hour, and its range is pretty good too. Not that speed is gonna help you if you've got a supersonic fighter jet on your tail, but if you hug the surface and stay off the radar, you should have no problems getting away. Your field uniform is not... Your field u... When you're using the assault rifle, pattern clothing.
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Snake, you know the bridge on the River Kwai?
Haven't seen it.
It's about a group of Allied prisoners in Japanese-occupied Burma in World War II who worked together to build a bridge. Under the leadership of an English officer, the prisoners and the Japanese gradually bring the project toward completion. But at the same time, the Allied forces are hatching a plan to blow up the bridge.
War and futility go hand in hand.
I suppose so.
I didn't think you were the type to go for war movies, though.
Actually, this guy invited me to go see it with him.
A date?
I guess you could call it that.
Still, you just don't seem like the type.
Well, he seemed to like war movies. He was a Navy boy. I was still an intern back then. They brought him in with a broken leg. He said, when I'm all healed up, will you go see a movie with me to celebrate? If it's okay. He was so shy.
Where is he now?
With the 7th Fleet.
I see.
Acknowledged. Eliminate.
It looks like there's an anti-aircraft gun emplacement there. You can operate an anti-aircraft gun emplacement by standing next to it and pressing the action button. Use the weapon button to control the trigger. You can also zoom in on a target by pressing the aim button. The anti-aircraft cannon should be more than a match even for that attack chopper. But remember, its ammo supply is limited. Obviously you can't move around as long as you're sitting in the seat. If the enemy gets too close for comfort, press the action button and get out of the seat immediately. Is that clear? Snake, watch out for enemy troops carrying flamethrowers. Under no circumstances should you get close to the flame troops. Either sneak by without being seen, or take them out from a distance.
If you get blasted by a flamethrower, your body will catch on fire. If your body catches on fire, either roll around repeatedly to put it out, or go into the survival viewer and change out of the burning clothes. When you catch fire, you'll get burned unless you put the flames out quickly. So be sure to extinguish the flames right away, okay?
Snake, when you're in first-person view, you can hide by lying down and crawling inside hollow fallen trees.
Snake, there should be white-rumped vultures living. There should be
Snake, you see that anti-aircraft gun? That's a ZU-23, a light towable anti-aircraft gun that the Soviets started producing in 1957. It was designed for deployment in airborne units and motorized rifle divisions without their own self-propelled anti-air guns. It's got two 23mm air-cooled automatic cannons with a firing rate of 800 rounds per minute. They usually take a 6-man crew to operate, but you ought to be able to handle one by yourself. In addition to shooting at low-flying aircraft, you can also use them as machine guns to target light armored land vehicles. I imagine they'd be more than a match for that new attack chopper of theirs, too. You can take over an anti-aircraft gun the same way you take over a gun emplacement. Stand next to it and press the action button. Use the weapon button to fire. Press the aim button to focus in on a target. Just remember that they've got limited ammo. Also, don't forget, you can't move around while you're using an emplacement. If the enemy's getting too close for comfort, press the action button to ditch it. Pronto. Snake, you see that anti-aircraft gun? Snake. Snake. Snake.
You want to save? Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
Follow that tunnel to the north and you'll come out inside Groznyj Grad. Keep going north. Follow that tunnel to the north. Snake, remember that the suppress... It's possible... It's...
Eat food to... The gauge below... Treating serious...
When you fire Splitter is...
I am the Fury. The flames of my rage will incinerate you. I came back from space. As I returned, I had one vision. The world set ablaze. And do you know what I saw there? Fury. A great and terrible fury at being alive. Now, you're going to feel the scorching heat of that horrible blackness.
The Fury is equipped with a powerful flamethrower. Whatever you do, don't attack him from the front. Get behind him and attack him from there. You'll never get anywhere fumbling around in the dark. You need to be able to see first. Use the night vision goggles. You could also try using a torch or a cigar. The Fury's flamethrower is immensely powerful. Do not, under any circumstances, try to approach him from the front.
Those flames are incredibly intense. If you get blasted at close range, it's likely to result in a severe burn. If you get burned, go into the survival viewer right away and use Cure to treat it. If your body catches on fire, you can put it out by rolling around repeatedly. You can also go into the survival viewer and change out of the burning clothes. So if you catch on fire, take care of it immediately.
The Fury is equipped with a powerful flamethrower. The Fury's flamethrower is
Snake, keep an eye on your stamina gauge. If your body catches on fire, you can put it out by rolling around repeatedly. You can also go into the survival viewer and change out of the burning clothes. So if you catch on fire, take care of it immediately. Snake, watch out for the Fury's flame attacks. Those flames are incredibly intense. If you get blasted at close range, it's likely to result in a severe burn. If you get burned, go into the survival viewer right away and use Cure to treat it. Snake?
You can't fight if you can't see in front of your face. You need to be able to rely on your vision. You can try the night vision goggles, but keep an eye on the batteries. Don't look straight at the Fury's flames when you're wearing the night vision goggles though, or you'll be blinded by the after image for a while. If he fires the flamethrower, either look away or take off the goggles. If the batteries in the night vision goggles are used up, you can use a cigar or a torch for light. But if you try and get close to him with the light on, he'll know you're there. Keep that in mind. That's not an ordinary flamethrower the Fury's using. Normally, flamethrowers use a mixture of napalm and gasoline for fuel. But from what I hear, that guy is using liquid rocket fuel. I'm guessing it's probably a mixture of UDHM, unsymmetrical dimethylhydrazine, and NTO, nitrogen tetroxide. I'm sure you've seen how potent that stuff is. The Fury's flamethrower is one hell of a weapon. Any frontal attack you make is just gonna get swatted down by the flames. You gotta circle around him and attack from behind or from the side. The Fury is wearing a special flame-proof outfit made from a spacesuit. If it's tough enough to stand up to those flames he's belching out, grenades and white phosphorus grenades aren't even gonna make a dent. Of course, if you manage to tear through that suit, then it's a different story. If you use a knife and engage him at close range, you should be able to rip right through that flame-proof suit of his. To get close enough to use your knife, try stalking up from behind him. But you've got more to worry about than not making noise. Any light you're carrying, like a cigar or a torch, will give you away. So when you're creeping up on him, unequip your cigar or torch. The Fury's flamethrower is one hell of a weapon. You can't fight if you can't see in front of your face.
Where'd you go? Son of a bitch! My suit! Not bad. Boss, this is the end of the Cobras. You've got to live on. You're the only one left. I'm off. To join the sorrow. fires of hell will purge me clean. I can see it. Mission Control, do you read me? I'm coming home. I see the earth.
Do you want to save? Take care, Snake.
I will.